Greetings, I'm Rob Chappers, and welcome to Shred-sember, the month where we just get out of 2020. Let's get out of here. And it is my absolute pleasure to give you some awesome guitar lessons, teaching you all sorts of cool things about rhythm and lead and riff writing and songwriting and all sorts of bits and bobs that I really hope you enjoy. Today, we're going to talk about how to write a guitar solo. Maybe you're in a band, maybe you're a solo project dude, maybe you're in an orchestra, I don't know. If you want to know how to write a cool solo, I've got some tips, tricks, and hacks for you that I think are going to give you a good feeling, and you're going to feel proud of your accomplishments. And that's what makes me feel the most happy, is when people are proud of what they do. So let's start by the fact that I'm in E flat, the tuning for the people, which sounds roughly like this. Let's also say I've got my pedal board back from England, so now I can do juicy things like this. Which is tremendously exciting for me. Anyway, on with the lesson. How to write a guitar solo. First of all, I'd like you to consider the theme. And by the theme, what I mean is the riff, the bit that kind of sets the scene of the tune. So for example, is the theme of your tune something that is based upon a riff like... that kind of thing? Get rid of that reverb, Rob. Or maybe it's based upon a theme like... What's it based upon? If it's based upon a riff, the riff contains information, notes, bits of a scale, a theme, something that you can work from. It can inspire you. For example, if we're looking at this, we're looking at individual notes from a scale that you can then utilize. These are all notes that you can then use in your solo. There's a little glimpse of information about what the person that was writing the song was thinking or feeling. And I really want you to think about the opening section of a tune as kind of setting the scene of the tune. And in my opinion, there are some really good solos out there, and they all sort of fit into different, well, most of them fit into different kinds of camp. They are either a sing-along, like a whoa, kind of a sing-along solo, where the whole crowd goes and sings along with the guitar player. Brian May does incredibly good sing-along solos. You can probably sing 3 or 4 Brian May solos and you don't even know it. And that's the sign of a fantastic musician. So a sing-along solo is one kind of solo, or it's a solo that is like a microcosmic version of the track. So maybe it sums up perfectly what the tune was about. I call that a microcosmic tune. Or maybe it's the kind of solo which just gets you excited to be in that section of the tune, and it's a break from the rest of the tune. And the kind of people that do that, people like Nuno Betancourt, I find that his solos are an escape from the track, but from the world of the track and then back into it. It's a lot of words, a lot of semantics, I know, but trust me, it's important to think about the theme and what kind of solo are you going for? Are you going to go for a sing-along solo, an escape from the world of the track, or something that describes the song of the track? Theme. So let's start by thinking maybe we had a theme that was a riff, and the riff was in E minor, a little bit like this Paranoid riff that I played you from Black Sabbath. Now, for obvious reasons, I can't play the Black Sabbath riff and then play some lead and teach you that without YouTube demonetizing this video. So I'm just going to write a riff for you that goes... Just pull that out of my ass. let's say that's the theme of a song. I'm clearly hammering that E flat, let's call it an E string, E, A, D, G, B, E, just for reference. Hammering that E string. So it's an E key, and then I'm using power chords, and these power chords are, if you look at the first finger, they're really the note of a scale. So I've got this one, it's A note. I've got this note, which is a D. I've got this E note, and then I'm playing a little bit of a scale. And then I played the chords again, and then I went, and it's a bit further of the scale. Now we can take those notes and use them to begin the solo and kind of either work out where you are if you're not very theory-minded and not thinking about keys and scales and things. You can just use those notes. So you've got, or in other words, you've got to write your solo. Now where else can you find those notes? You've got one here. So far I can use, well, let's write a solo. I'm using those notes to kind of sing a melody that comes from the opening riff. Now this is obviously a really simplistic way of putting it because I want to reach as many people as possible from all sorts of different backgrounds and experience levels and places of technical ability, but you get the general gist. Think of the theme, consider what the information is that it gives you, and then utilize that to create something that comes from the song. Next, top tip, sing along. Now I don't mean make a sing along solo, I literally mean sing along with the backing that you are playing your solo over. Just for reference, I always do this. Every single solo that I've recorded in the past 5 years, I have sang along. You know what, I'm gonna play you a recording. I think it will be funny. Okay, look, this is a scratch track for a new song by Clockwork Wolf and Company called Long Way to Fall. So it's literally just me playing guitar and singing into a couple of microphones, one take. So please forgive the roughness and enjoy laughing. And if you want to have a lot of fun, try and notate what I'm saying. Solo. So that's me singing along to an area where there will be a solo. Now, I can't believe I put this in the video, but actually I think it's really valuable. Your mind, whether you can sing or not, is full of music and it's unhindered by physicality, technical ability, what scale shape am I in? Ain't no scale shapes in your head. It's just notes that you're free to use. And so when we sing, we tend to make better note choices. Do you dig? It's the note choices. So I sing over a section, listen back to it and go, oh, that was an interesting part. Yeah, I could probably work that out on the guitar. You'd be amazed. Sometimes you'll come up with an area that you've sung and you're like, how do I play that? Because of course, I mean, in this situation, I haven't got a whammy bar. It's very difficult unless I consider a pre-bend to bring a note down unless I'm going to slide. And sometimes a slide doesn't sound as good as a drop, a gradual drop in tone. So it's something to be aware of. Singing along to a section really helps. I'd like you to do an exercise with me right now while I briefly tune these new strings. I'm trying to think of a song that everybody would know. I'm just going to use Sweet Child of Mine because I think you're all going to know it. Do you know what I mean? Now and then when I see your face, it takes me away to that special place. So you know that, yeah? Everyone knows that. Try and play that on a guitar. Now, the first thing you're going to discover is that singers use the same note multiple times. Guitarists tend not to do that. It's a really interesting thing. So, see what I mean? You have to think in advance about notes that are going to fall, where they're going to be. And often when singers sing the same note, it's sung differently. There's a different attack or a different pitch, or it falls into it or rises into it. Try playing that melody now on your guitar while I wait. You could pause me. It's a really valuable exercise. Learn to play guitar as if you are a vocalist. You will soon discover that it gives you a good dose of what you need to get what we call I would call it like vocal phrasing. It's your phrasing power. You get your phrasing from considering your hand to be 4 little or maybe 5 little vocalists, and each one wants to sing a song, and you can help them by singing yourself. Now, sometimes you want to be a little bit less cerebral and you want to be a little bit more just play the guitar and get the solo done, especially if you've got limited time. And I've been in that situation just a few times. It's kind of a little bit stressful. Get the solo done. You've got an hour left in a studio, whatever it is. And there are 2 different approaches. So, for example, some people will sit there and they'll want to write a solo note for note. They'll just want to say, okay, it's in A. And I'm using Lydian mode, you know, or whatever it is they want to use. They're using a mode or a scale, or you know, they've got a plan already in place, and they're going to work on that plan and write every note. I don't work that way, and I don't think lots of people do. I'd rather just play the guitar. I'd rather just improvise completely randomly. So, say the key is A. I'll put my hand anywhere on the guitar. I haven't even chosen a place, and I'll just play notes and I'll make it work into a solo gradually. And then over time, when I'm improvising again and again, it goes from improvise to crystallize. It forms, it shapes as you're playing. So. Playing over a chord progression that's in my head, you can't hear that, so some of the notes might sound like they go outside and then come back inside. It's a really valuable exercise, but try just improvising and then see if you can improvise and kind of get it the same and then let it form into something that you like. That method is really cool because what you end up with is a solo that really truly came from you, from your subconscious and from what it was that you wanted to do, rather than something that was, really not. I don't want to say contrived, but I just said contrived. Do you know what I mean? It's better if it comes off the cuff and it's from you. Something that Eddie Kramer once told me, he's the guy that produced Jimi Hendrix and Steve Vai and loads of really cool people. He said to me, leave the hair on. Leave little mistakes, little glitches, little issues, leave them on, because it's character in the solo. And I think it's really important to leave the listener with a sense of the character of the event and of the player. If you want to listen to one of my sing-along solos, I'd recommend listening to the solo on the track Idle Hands from Clockwork Wolf and Company. And if you want to listen to a solo where I started sing-along and then turned it into something that was a little bit more escape from the song entirely, then maybe take a listen to the solo on Flash Flood from Clockwork Wolf and Company, where I've got a blues rock track. It starts sing-along and then it turns into a hard rock, almost shred solo, and then back into blues rock. Just examples of that. If you want to listen to brilliant compositional orchestral sing-along soloing, Brian May is right up there. And in my opinion, some of the best lead guitar players to listen to for solos in general would be Joe Satriani, Jimmy Page, Jimi Hendrix, the Jimmies. Find a Jimmy. Steve Vai, Marty Friedman. Go and fill your boots. Enjoy listening to all of them. There are way more than I could ever imagine. Philip Sace is incredible. Joe Bonamassa is highly skilled. I love all those people. I recommend you go check them out. Take it easy. Have an amazing day and enjoy Shred Sember. Chappers out.